We will start with Ms. Nord for 5 minutes, please. Ms. Nord, you have the floor.
Yes, good morning. Thank you, Mr. Chair. Also, vice chairs and committee members. It's a pleasure to be here this morning and make an appearance regarding certain divisions of Part 5 of Bill C-19. I'm speaking today from Ottawa, the traditional unceded territory of the Algonquin Anishinaabe peoples. I go by the pronouns she, her, and elle. Today I am wearing a light blouse, gray sweater, gray glasses. My hair is pulled back and I am attending virtually with a blurred background. I'm speaking on behalf of the Canadian Chamber of Commerce, which is the voice of Canadian business. We represent 200,000 businesses across the country, across sectors, and across sizes, including our network of 450 local chambers and boards of trade from coast to coast to coast. Today, I have two interventions to make, and the first is in regards to Division 26. It's very important to remind ourselves that the EI program is estimated to have a debt of $25 billion for fiscal year 22-23. That is as it is, before we make any additional pressures into the system. The eligibility expansion for support measures and employment services within Division 26 is no doubt well intended, and it might not look like much in and of itself. However, what has happened continually over the years, in fact, the past 8 decades, is that there are reoccurring drops in the bucket that have a cumulative, burdensome impact on the program. As the Government of Canada is starting phase 2 of its EI modernization consultations tomorrow, we at the Canadian Chamber have urged that this is a truly comprehensive review. No more nibbling at the edges, as it were. We have said that this is our once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to really look at the program and set it and future generations of Canadians up for success. Importantly, this includes Part 2 of the EI program, referred to as active measures, which involves over $2 billion transferred to the provinces and territories annually for employment services and skills training, alongside a plethora of pan-Canadian programs and initiatives. This is not to say that we don't think skills education and training isn't important, quite the opposite. When I appeared in front of this committee in the early days of the pandemic back in May 2020, I stated, and I quote, we need to identify the reform needed to build a system that can respond to current and future workforce needs, ensuring Canadians remain connected to the labor force, and that this includes a strong upskilling and reskilling training component, unquote. It's not the importance that we're questioning, it's the suitability and efficacy of having support measures and employment services funded by EI dollars. EI doesn't need to, and it can't fund everything. And if it does continue, the business community, which contributes 7/12 to the program, would like greater transparency and input into how that funding is spent. The second intervention I have this morning is in regards to Division 32 and the EI Board of Appeal. Our recommendation is to remove Division 32 from Bill C-19 for a separate and focused review. This is not the first time that you have heard this, and it likely won't be the last. Importantly, you have heard this both from labor and business representatives. The institutional structures that underpin the EI system are critical for a well-functioning system that meets the needs and expectations of Canadians. The Employment Insurance Board of Appeal is complex, and changes proposed in Bill C-19 are significant, and they do not necessarily align with the tripartite principles and framework that had been agreed upon before the onset of the pandemic. The changes included in Division 32 are not the ones we thought we would see, and they need to be examined and discussed in a more deliberative manner. Thank you, and I look forward to answering any questions.